Okay. This is officially Colorado Railroad Heritage Week, part of Colorado's celebration of 150 years of statehood. Evan is really into his whistle. So am I, though. It recognizes the vital role railroads played in transforming a frontier territory into thriving and becoming the Colorado state it became in 1876.
Yeah, such a big part of our history. Joining us today is Paul Hammond, Executive Director. First off, Paul, of the Colorado Railroad Museum, of course, when we're talking about Railroad Heritage Week, how critical is something like this?
Well, again, put this in perspective to Colorado's past.
Yeah.
Imagine Colorado without railroads, particularly in the 19th century when the alternatives are pretty limited.
It's not a pretty sight.
It's, well,
Tough to get around.
Let's just say we wouldn't be getting around much, and where would all the ores have gone? Where would the miners have gone? How would the stuff have gotten there? It wouldn't have happened. Colorado would not be the state it is today.
So talk to us, break it down a little bit more for those that really want to understand as we move into celebrating our 150th. What role did the locomotive, the trains, what role did they have in creating the state that we know and love today?
Well, if you just look at when Denver's first founded, based on, again, gold discoveries, it doesn't grow much from that 1860-ish time frame until 1870. But then the railroad gets here June 24th, which is tomorrow, 1870. And 6 years later, we become a state because all of a sudden we've grown in population and become important enough to be recognized as a state. And that trend just continued to bring people, manufacturing, and everything else that we know and love today to this state.
We were talking during the break about when I was growing up, I would take the train to Winter Park through the Moffett Tunnel. And there are so many different ways for folks to enjoy the railroad heritage in our state. What are some of your favorite ways for folks to do that?
Well, of course, one of the things we recommend is go out and ride a train.
Yeah.
That can be as simple as stepping aboard the one at the Railroad Museum, which is a short but fun trip. But there's longer, much more extensive journeys. The Durango and Silverton, the Coopers and Toltec, even right here, Georgetown Loop. There's a great one in Leadville, and a beautiful ride through the Royal Gorge.
Oh my gosh, there's so
and
many.
don't forget Pikes Peak.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I have not
Pikes
done that one,
Peak.
but
Let me give
it's
it
on
a-
the list.
Okay, sorry. Apparently many movies have been filmed here, which is really cool, meaning like with the Colorado railroads. Can you tell us or share about some of those?
Well, the answer to that is I'm going to tell you my favorite, which is one that it's actually today it'd be considered very politically incorrect, but it is a wonderful movie for a period piece. It's the first time Marilyn Monroe appears on screen, uncredited role. It's called A Ticket to Tomahawk, and it is one of the locomotives that's at the museum, and it's this incredible Western with Indians, and they have to get a locomotive from here to the end of where they're supposed to have built the railroad, or else they don't get this subsidy. And so in the movie, they actually take the locomotive apart and drag it across the ground so that they meet the town charter requirements for their subsidy. And it is so wacko,
Yes.
but it's wonderful.
And you see Marilyn Monroe before she was Marilyn
She's
Monroe.
a dance hall girl.
Oh, that is so cool. I love
cool piece of
trivia like
history.
that. Yes. And what do you got here real quick? We only have less than a minute.
These are just little things, think about mining. Where would Colorado be without it? Think about tourism. This is a ski train cup. And all the different brochures that would have brought people here in the 19th and 20th centuries, because you used to have to do this stuff in pictures because we couldn't send them anywhere. We didn't have these things.
Right.
The telegraph, railroads,
yes.
and communication. This is the Victorian internet.
Wow.
So those grew up together. They were symbiotic. And then you have to do a lot of signaling in the railroad world.
Yes.
And of course, then this is part of that signaling too.
Evan's obsessed. Okay. Yeah.
Paul, quick plug, you have all of this great stuff and lots of history at the museum to share.
We sure do. Colorado Railroad Museum is open Tuesday through Sunday. This time of the year, we're running trains Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
Come out, see us. ColoradoRailroadMuseum.org is where you find it all.
Awesome. Thanks
The
so much,
best.
Paul.